Welcome to Thought for December the 7th. Our readings today are taken from Job 9, Micah 5 and James chapter 1. And our thought is, which God has promised to those who... We have three most interesting and thought-provoking readings today. We see Job continually wrestling with his concept of what God is and how he does great things beyond searching out and marvellous things beyond number. Chapter 9 and verse 10. We have Micah, who was inspired to record that the one who is to be ruler in Israel would come forth from Bethlehem in chapter 5 and verse 2. And of course Matthew 2 shows us that the chief priests and the scribes knew the prophecy and were able to tell the wise men from the east. These priests and scribes never imagined the ruler would be born in a stable. They were looking for the fulfillment of the prophecy in seeing one who would stand and shepherd his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. Micah 5 verse 4. And so he will, but in God's good time. It is our reading in James that spells out the qualities needed in those who will be there at that time of its wondrous fulfillment. He writes, "Blessed is the man or woman who remains steadfast under trial." Of course, we think of Job being the ultimate example of this. "For when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life which God has promised to those who love him." We are expected to show this love by our actions. John makes the point in his first letter. He wrote, "Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth." 1 John 3 and verse 18. Returning to James, we see how blunt and challenging is his message for those days and for today. "Put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your souls," he says in verse 21. But it is not enough to have the knowledge of God's word implanted in our brains through our daily readings of it. James states, "Be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves." Verse 22. Finally, we also noted his point, another challenging one, "The one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, will be blessed in his doing." Verse 25. They had been set at liberty from the ritual of the law of Moses. But let us be busy today in our doing, as well as meditating upon what we read, and being inspired by the things which God has promised to those who love him. Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of the words and read words like this of the psalmist when he says, "The precepts of the Lord are righteous, rejoicing the heart."